Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we will be talking about something different actually. So welcome to our new segment, and today for our first episode we will be talking about Alchemy of Souls. If you are like in the K-drama community, or you're just watching Asian drama in general, or maybe like you're just on Netflix, I'm pretty sure that you probably came across Alchemy of Souls, and it just ended last Sunday. And I know that it's been less than a week, but I'm still not over it, and I don't think I'll be over it anytime soon. But in this video, I'm gonna talk about why Alchemy of Souls is actually a perfect Reylo fanfic. So before we jump into this, okay, let me just introduce this segment a little bit. So in my New Year's video, I already talked about that there might be some K-drama content, or maybe something that involves television and movies, not just K-drama, maybe C-drama, maybe Thylacons in general, because I used to make them on my first channel, and I think that I want to move that to this channel as well. I'm an avid drama watcher. I love dramas just as much as I love books. One of my videos last year, I talked about Batman. That was supposed to be the first introvert watch segment, but at that time I wasn't even thinking of making that segment. It was just a random thought. I was just really passionate about Batman at the time. Still am though. Can't wait for the sequel. But this will be the first official episode of Introvert Watches, so of course you can expect more content in this area. I don't know how often will I be making this, because watching dramas also take a lot of time. I can finish a single book in one day. I probably cannot finish a whole ass drama in a single day. Maybe I'm gonna need a few days, or at the very least a week or two, unless there are mini-series. I cannot even promise once a month. I can promise like anytime I think like a drama that I love is worth talking about, you'll be damn sure I will be making a video about this. So before I go on more about Alchemy of Souls, I think it is important for me to introduce you what Alchemy of Souls is about. If you're not a Reylo fan, or even a Star Wars fan in general, I still think you should check out Alchemy of Souls. Totally worth it, guys. That is like 30 episodes of goodness that I've seen in the K-drama so far. It's been a while since I felt this passionate about K-drama. Don't get me wrong, I've been watching a lot of great stuff in my time, but when it comes to K-dramas that make me feel like, you know, really fangirly, that makes me scream out of excitement, it doesn't happen often. So this is set in a fictional fantasy version of Korea called Daeho. It is a land brimmed with energy of the natural elements, and there's magic, there's sorcery, a lot of interesting stuff. This is a story about an infamous shadow assassin called Naksu. During a fight, she was fatally wounded by the mages of Daeho. In desperation, she shifted her soul to a different body, and unfortunately it is a weaker body, which led her to unable to use her powers. She has a personal vendetta against the four mage family of Daeho for murdering her father. This eventually led her to one of the son of the four mage family, which is Jung, who is the black sheep out of the four families, as well as our love interest and our main character. So the reason why he is the black sheep is because when he was born, his father blocked his energy that enables him to learn magic. So thus he is weaker than everyone else. So he is driven by this desire that he wanted to find someone that could unlock his power, because none of the mages in the society will do it, because they're bound to an oath towards his father. So his father, who is now left the city. There's a reason for that. They explain it in the first episode, so but I will let you discover it yourself, because you should. So then he met with Naksu in a different body, of course, and he recognized her immediately, because Jang-wook might be a black sheep, but he's actually a very intelligent man. So he recognized her, and he immediately asked her to be his master in a deal that, you know, she will help him become a great mage, and he will help her to regain her powers. There's a lot of stake at hands that creates this tension, but at the same time, it is balanced out perfectly with humor and some really chaotic moments. It's absolutely wonderful, guys. And The acting is great, the lore is interesting, there's so many things for you to discover, and the setup for the plot points for me are really clever. It's like, for me, that's like the hallmark of a good writing, and I absolutely love that. It is by no means a perfect story, but it is definitely one of the best that I've seen from Hong Sisters thus far. And if you don't know who Hong Sisters is, they have been producing some of the most popular Korean dramas that come out in the last decade. And I have watched at the very least 80% of their works, and I love them all. Even if they're not, some of them are not my favorite, they are still like some of the best viewing experience that I had. I think like even the ones that I haven't watched, I've heard nothing but great things about that. So if you're like a K-drama newbie, you should start with everything from Home Sisters, because I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a good time regardless. There's a lot of things to explore in the story, so I won't go into the details because it deserves to be explored firsthand. Now let's focus on why I call this a Reylo. The story is actually divided into two parts. Part 1, which was 20 episodes, and then part 2, which was only 10 episodes. When part 1 came out, I actually wasn't interested, so I wasn't really in the mood for binging a Korean dramas, and I was actually kind of skeptical about Alchemy of Souls at that time. But then part 2 came out, and I saw the posters. If you're confused, while the actors are different, there's a whole thing, right? Actually, it's not even a different actors at all. People are like making a fuss out of it, saying that they're angry because like, why did they change the actors and stuff? Well, actually, the actress who played Naksu in season 2 is actually the original actress for Naksu in season 1. She just appeared as a cameo because her character is supposed to shift soul in a different body, which is like the actress that's playing as Naksu in season 1. People are like freaking out, and did you even actually watch the story? So the reason why this is Reylo is that if you look at the part 2 poster, it is just absolute perfection. It just screams Reylo to me. The moment I saw that poster, I couldn't stop promoting to every single Reylo group that I saw. I'm like, guys, check this out. This is totally Reylo vibes, and I was right. Season 2 is just Reylo vibes. Season 1, I'm not saying it doesn't have a Reylo vibe, it does, but I think it's more towards season 2. Let's just look at the hard evidence of why this is Reylo. I'm pretty sure that these are unintentional. Hong Sisters might be a Reylo, or a Star Wars fan maybe, but I don't know. But the hard evidence is like this. You have an object that the guy and the girl owns. The guy owns something in red, and the girl owns something in blue. That, check. We have a sword slash lightsaber that is owned by a wizard slash space wizard. That can also show you memories. Next, we have a tall, handsome, brooding guy dressed in black, and then a powerful girl dressed in white. And the whole relationship between our two main characters is about balancing the light and darkness in each other. Heck, even their names means light and shadow, which is the title for season 2, which is, these evidence might just be pure coincidence, but I don't care. I'm reading this as Reylo. And this is my perfect Reylo fanfic. This is coming from a Reylo fan. Is that I admit that the sequel trilogy was poorly written. I don't hate it, but I wouldn't call it on par with the original trilogy or even the prequel trilogy. I just feel like it's kind of sad, especially like the last movie. Even though the last movie gave us the most tender moments of Reylo, I still find it hollow, I still find it upsetting, and which is the reason why us Reylo fans mostly go to fanfiction to get our closure. It's not that I like Reylo as it is, it's that I like the concept behind it. I do understand that underneath all that bad writing, there is something good buried underneath there. In the hands of a better writer, we could get a really amazing sequel trilogy with Reylo. But unfortunately, Kathleen Kennedy happens, and Disney somehow cannot decide whether they want to ruin Star Wars or make Star Wars great, because, you know, they have the sequel trilogy, but then they also have The Mandalorian. And I'm like, I really cannot decide. It's like, Disney, do you even know what you're looking for or not? Can you just be decisive? You're dealing with $1 billion IP over here, and you're not even handling it with care. The thing about Reylo fanfic for me that I think that I have a pet peeve about is that they're mostly smut. They're mostly about Rey and Ben or Kylo having sex or have a baby or something. I understand where this is coming from, because us fans are deprived from happily ever after. And even though, yes, I would love to see a happily ever after, because I do feel like Ben Solo deserves better. I feel like going the approach of just focusing on them having sex, it immediately doesn't feel Reylo to me. Even the most popular one by Ali Hazelwood was published. Even though I enjoyed it, I just don't think it's Reylo. Mostly because I see that the character that is supposed to be Rey just feels a bit too childish. For me, I see Reylo as a yin and yang balance kind of thing. It's about two people on the opposite sides of the spectrum come together and balancing each other's out. It's enemies to lovers, but on a much grander scale. It's about this power dynamic. I mean, sure, like Rey is a Mary Sue, I had to admit that, but thankfully though, Daisy Ridley doesn't do it like, you know, Captain Marvel. She's not an insufferable Mary Sue. She's still charming in her ways, she's just poorly written, and I feel like Daisy Ridley got the bulk of the blame when it's not even her fault. I think that she did the best that she could with the material that was given to her. But Rey is definitely not what it was in the book. Not even Ben was like what he's supposed to be. Because literally in that book, I remember it explicitly, because there's this part where the character, I don't remember exactly what their names in the book, because I just remember all the sexy bits. Don't judge me. There's literally a part where Ben is like pushing a truck, like, and then the scene just focuses on how his taut biceps and he's like all sweaty and everything, and when he's done pushing that truck, he just comes over to Rey's character and gave her a big old kiss. Was it a hug? I think it was a kiss. Yeah, and right in front of everyone. I was like, that does not get any more fanfic than that. Basically like any other generic couple. While I do like that, it's not my Reylo. And since they are the yin and yang, it's about them being fated for one another, despite whatever life throws on them, despite whatever obstacles that tries to separate them. They are always fated to be together. We can expect a happy ending from them. And even if it's not a happy ending, if there's a possibility that they will end up together, an open-ended cliffhanger ending that it's not over, that they will always find their way towards each other. That's what I see Reylo as. It's all about the dynamic, it's all about the balance in the Force. And Alchemy of Souls give me that thing that I've always wanted in a Reylo fanfic. And I'm like, finally, some Reylo fanfic does not involve a lot of smut. I mean, it still has some pretty saucy kiss scene, mind you. Unlike how Rey was written in the sequel trilogy, we have Naksu with excellent character development. We also have Jung, aka our Kylo Ren / Ben Solo. They also have a great character development. It's like, he started off as this like silly, innocent, young mage kind of thing, and then like he slowly progresses his skills until he becomes something that he does not wish to be. He got something that he's always wanted. He wanted to become the greatest mage, but at what cost? And he doesn't know what to do with this power. If anything, he started to resent it. And then like the fact that he's lost the person in his life. Oops. I just accidentally spoiled it to you. Go watch it! But don't worry guys, there's still a bunch of things for you to discover in case you don't want to get broken hearted again by Reylo because of the ending in sequel trilogy. I will just erase your worries right now. Watch it in anticipation for the happy ending, guys. It's beautiful. I have been in the process of writing my own Reylo fanfic for years now. And I did briefly publish it on AO3 and Wattpad, but then I take it down. It's because I realized that it needs a lot of work, it needs a lot of editing, and that I need a lot of research. I'm still deciding whether I want to do it in real life setting, in historical fiction setting, or in a fantasy setting. I wanted to do it right. I wanted to publish this someday, you know, I want it to be a legit book. It needs a lot of work. And I already gained a lot of inspiration from AOS. Another thing that was an issue in season 2 that people said was that people are forgetting that the original Naksu is Yoonjung. Somin basically played the character Mudok. The body that Naksu is in. So she plays like Naksu, but in Mudok's body. A lot of people were having doubts because they really liked Jung Somin in season 1, and I do love Jung Somin in season 1. I like Jung Somin because I've seen her since she was in Playful Kiss. Even though I didn't like Playful Kiss, I think that she's great and she's very good in comedic timing, and season 1 has a lot of comedic moments. But when it comes to romantic chemistry, and it's obviously more towards Yoonjung and Lee, it's like seriously every single time they're in one scene together, I'm like, who says they don't have any chemistry? They have like the whole periodic table written on their faces every single time they have a romantic scene together. Anyway, that's all from me. Before I end this video, have you watched Alchemy of Souls? And if you watched it, let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you a Reylo fan? What do you think of it? So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.